Hi everyone, this is Roslyn with another episode of KM Fuse Off the Cuff Stories. Today we want to discuss an interesting issue, an issue that is core to my heart, and this is employee motivation. As we all know, employee motivation is like the engine of the workplace. If done well, it can lead to high levels of productivity, and if not achieved, it can lead to high staff turnover. So today in the studio to help me discuss this issue, we have two lovely guests, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Evangeline Mukami. I'm glad to be here to discuss an aspects of employee motivation. Very excited this afternoon as an employee, as an employer, and looking forward to this engaging topic and to learn and unlearn some of the things that I have picked along the way.
Na kama kawaida,
My name is Pauline Jiru. And as usual, we try and fix the workplace one conversation at a time and share knowledge while at it. Thank you.
so Eva, when we speak about motivation, I know in the minds of many people, it's just money. That if I get a bigger salary, I'll be motivated. Or if I work maybe in these big corporates, I'll be motivated. So it's always about money, money, money. But I would like you to explain to our viewers in a layman's language so that they can understand what is this employee motivation.
We are paid to be able to sustain us, or what an employer is able to pay for our needs and a few wants here and there. And that's why employee motivation is more than money. It's more than what one gets. Rather, it's about a feeling. And we simply define motivation as, that feeling of fulfillment, purpose, an employee who looks forward to a greater workplace and enthusiasm, You can't even say what really enthusiasm is, looking forward to greater things.
Looking forward to waking up in the morning.
Yes, waking up in the morning and contributing positively without being managed, self-regulating, self-management, where if I do cleaning or I make tea, I don't require no one to supervise for me to do that. So kunakuwa in a state where a workplace, the supervision is more on mentorship, coaching, but the daily chasing and micromanagement with an employee workforce that is motivated, you'll find that people do what they ought to do above a lot of innovations, a lot of belonging. They feel when my company is not doing well, I am not doing well.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Pauline? Would you do over and above what you're required to do in the employment space?
Okay, for me, employee motivation, according to me, it falls back to the employer. You as the employer, Roslyn, what are you doing? How are you treating your employees? So that, yes.
Would you do over and above, like you have already hit your targets? Maybe you were supposed to do something, you have already hit your target, and it's 3. So you tell yourself, I still have 2 hours, so let me add some more.
You see, it depends on where you are. Like if you're in a good space.
Or how motivated.
Exactly. How motivated am I? In this space that I am in, am I okay? Am I happy to be here? In that way, you'll find yourself doing over.
Yeah.
And above.
Like 6 comes, you're still in the office and you're happy about it.
Really?
And actually, employee motivation has little, to do with
Employer.
has little has little to do with, there I could deliver my task fully,
Yes.
but how have I executed? You know, it's not a tick on the box. You know, I ought to do this report, let me finish. I send. By the time it gets to the other side, yes, the report is sent, but the person reviewing has to redo. You know, a lot of errors, you know, it's just been done. So what we are saying about employee motivation, it's not even so much into the delivery of the task, because not whether motivated or not, as employees, we know in our JD, kuna kale kakitu kameandikwa any other job assigned, and many times we do other things that
we have not been
we've
assigned.
not been assigned. So when we say doing more, we do that all the time, but how? And what can, if you interacted with our clients, what feedback would they say about the employees? Because the clients are the ones who actually can say, "Hey, hapa watu wamechoka." You know, they're the ones who can say, "Hey, I got excellent services. Huyo mtu alikuwa committed. I didn't have this document, but they helped me to navigate." You know, so many times how we rate or how we can assess the levels of motivation is, one, productivity is key, but how we deliver that task. It's not the quality of the work, the continuous improvement, willing to continuously do better, but also feedback we get internally and externally. I can tell that Pauline really is delivering to their task. But when we also look at employee motivation, it has also other elements of the feeling of belonging. You know, some people wake up to go to a workplace, but it's robotic.
They want to earn a paycheck
yes,
at the end
they're
of the
just
month.
there looking either for the next way out, or then people actually go to work to look for work.
Yeah,
Meaning
using your employer's resources.
Yes.
Look for work.
Akifika asubuhi anaangalia career, LinkedIn, whatever is available, applying for a job.
No wonder nowadays most employees are blocking those.
Yes, yeah, because that's
those sites.
That's what an
sites,
employee will spend their
social
time.
media, they block. So you are only limited to what is relevant to your work.
And that's why we are told, even as we program or we design ways of employee motivation, and I agree, a bigger percentage of employee motivation is a culture that an organization forms.
Yes.
The culture includes the employer and the employee. Because when I joined this organization, where there are all these structures, a number of employee motivation components includes some benefits an employee gets. If I know when my child gets sick, I'll not bother about payment of bills. You know, there are things we look for when we are looking for employment. What are the benefits? Even before you apply or you leave your current employment, search for another, there are key things: retirement benefits, you know, insurance, work environment, a number of things that we look out for. So the culture where, or the setup of the organization is what placing presidency. You know, it sets the platform for employee motivation.
Sawa. Let's not go ahead of ourselves. So I would like us to look at the factors that can lead to employers not being motivated. What could be the cause of a workforce that is demotivated, if that's the opposite of motivation? What do you think are some of the triggers or the factors that would lead to Roslyn coming to work in the morning and starts the first thing, instead of trying to start hitting their targets, the first thing they're doing is opening an employment site, trying to look for another job? What really leads to such occurrences?
Sure, probably I'll start with I love the positive side, then we look into the negative, because if the positive side is not done, you know what makes employees motivated? If it's not done, now we have employees who are demotivated or disengaged. So we already spoke about the culture. If the culture is favorable, you know, I get to a place where I'm not judged, I am likely to adjust and, you know, look forward to other things. Where the job description is very clear. You know, some people are employed, but one day you sit at the reception, the other day you're told, you know, you report to work, but you're not even facilitated. You don't have a laptop. You take like over 2 months to settle.
Reminds me. When I went to, I had changed departments, so I had gone to another department. So when I went there, where I was coming from, everything was, I think Pauline, you know that place, everything was up to par. Heck, I'm coming to this now other department. My God.
You don't even have a chair to start with.
I used to operate like a chief. You know the way chiefs operate. We've just been given a table and a chair. No computer, no water, no tea, nothing. I've never done reception work, but here I'm being required to do reception work. I do not even know what reception is to do.
Ilikuwa induction. You know there are companies which induct.
So
Your job,
I thought
No,
maybe
there are companies where you're supposed to work in every other department.
there was supposed to be continuity, like what?
Yes. What brought
According
you?
to my
You
JD,
move from the
just
known
continuity.
to the unknown.
So I thought
To
maybe
the unknown, okay.
they are still organizing themselves, maybe after a week. Hey, do you know I stayed in the same place for 3 years doing reception work?
Where
True
was that?
story, true story.
Like
Until you go to learn.
Until it just got into me now.
Yeah, so
what to do?
Job description.
As
actually,
long as I'm getting my paycheck in the end
but
month.
that
what I
was,
forgot to say is
that was so out of order.
for
How?
employee
We
motivation.
have suffered.
For employee motivation starts way back from advertising the position, recruitment processes, because many a times we advertise, but we do not have the end. We don't see the end to the beginning. We start from here, then other things. That's why you find an employee has reported to work, no sitting space, no facilitation. So 3 months they are eating salaries. Wanakula tu mshahara, but there is nothing, and it's not upon them. Yeah. But what people do not know, if you remember the case of the Kisi, where we had 100 drivers and 40 cars, you know, in the learning curve of workload or employee motivation, the less people have to do. They are demotivated, they are inactive. Yeye ndiye atakuwa akijua who is dating who is going for lunch with who, because basically they have nothing to do. Then they now start looking for work because they are thinking, okay, I got here, I'm not doing what I ought to do, I'm not growing myself career-wise, but other employees will be comfortable to do
a good
nothing.
number, actually. A good number will be
okay. So the process starts way back.
It was really a culture shock because now I was forced to do something I have never done, and 3 years later I was still doing it. And along the way sasa wakanihurumia, wakanipatia ka laptop, but otherwise I was just coming like a chief.
It was so
the
bad.
work was mostly
You know, if I remember where you were coming
Ukaribisha
from,
wageni.
where I was
Where
coming
you get
from,
to
the office,
I
and
know.
you know, your tasks are already defined.
Yes.
Ziko pale zinakugoja.
You just
Then now Rosalind finds herself here.
here.
Being the chief.
Yeah. So a number of those things.
It's a good place to live.
I don't laugh. Actually, I always say I ever worked in a chief's office. Recollect. I'm sorry. I ever worked in a chief's office, and we were very busy apparently.
Because you're listening to cases.
Yeah, conflict.
Yeah, I was also listening to cases. I was also listening to cases
and
because
determining where you're sending the
we are
cases.
serving there. I was now serving the public because now people could come in and I would write their issues.
Listen and redirect.
Yeah. I became
Yeah.
a counselor of some sort.
But imagining now doing such work with zero training,
Zero
you know,
knowledge, zero what?
having
Zero
come from a
induction.
Learning on the job.
Yeah, so learning on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, in
It's-
that learning on the job, someone will sort you.
Actually,
Tell you just how useless you are in this office. You just
every
sit
day you
here.
just become very, very demotivated.
Very.
You know, you're actually wondering, did I make the right decision? Until when? So that's already starts to demotivate you, to make you disengaged. And within no time, you're just robotic. You appear to work. Even when you're serving the clients, your energy levels
Very down.
are low. Nothing moves you. You're just there because what else do you do?
What you have to pay bills and you need
Yeah.
that money.
Now I'm thinking about a coping mechanism, which is basically, you know, someone would say it's resilience, but now resilience on the other side, like survival. Here, wacha tu nita survive. Like now, I don't know whether that is good or bad. I don't know whether
It's
that
bad.
It's bad
It's
because
bad.
now
But
I
if it's
used to.
We do
motivating
not
you now
want
to
people
wake
to
up.
survive you, to
'Cause
survive, or to you know, to inaitwa nini, as in you're just bearing. You know, our workplace, you can imagine how most of our lives we spend at the workplace. Yeah, tuko na 24 hours. So 8 hours you sleep, 8 hours you offer to your employer. But before you get to the employment, you spend 2 in the traffic, 2 coming back. Over there, you get home, you're told kuna emergency.
After 8 hours of sleep, by the way,
At times-
hiyo inakuanga Christmas. 'Cause
Yes,
you cannot achieve like 8 hours
every day.
So actually,
At times you travel even over the weekend to go to the fields.
Yeah.
You know, you leave your family.
Yeah.
So the workplace should not be tolerated. Si ati unavumilia.
Tolerate.
To survive,
It's a place where every day an employee should reflect, what is my status of my, because I said also, employee motivation may be so much into the employer, but an employee also has to be genuine and reflect also about their states of affairs.
Wow. So
But
you had-
now, in this time where, okay, you know, the reason why I'm talking about now, you're trying now, you develop like a fake resilience over there because now I am here working. Probably this job was a prayer answered, you know, a
Mine
dream
was
come
not
true.
a
Then I
prayer
get
answered.
here. I get here.
Culture
nothing.
shock.
So what am I supposed to do?
You know what
And
I-
if
you
you
know
are
what I-
Christian like me, you are not supposed to even be complaining.
You know what I say? You can actually transition from a job to another job and you still do not find yourself. You know, you're trying to figure out, and when you're applying for jobs, you think, I just want to get out and of these, and we label work environment as toxic.
Yeah,
I have
toxic.
been there.
All
There
our
is
work
one
they
year.
are toxic.
There is one year, and I wouldn't want employers
to see.
to look to hear
Usichome.
this. Wanaweza
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
please. For 1 year, I worked in 13 workplaces.
Jeez.
What?
Yes.
Different organizations.
Yes, different organizations.
How did you even have
Si ndio
that?
hiyo unaamka kutafuta kazi.
13.
You
like
report.
1, 2, 3.
Yes,
You
there are
go
days
try.
I didn't even last a month. Yani
You go
sikukula
try.
hata mshahara.
What were you telling them?
And that is the time now I sat down and said, wait a moment, is it about the work environment or it's about me? And these are conversations that we'll never have. It's about my employer ananifanyia, sijui work environment iko toxic. Rarely do we sit back and look
reflect on us.
into our own. And actually, I realized that I was the problem. That is why when I got into that state and I got into my former employer, I stuck there for 16 years because I found myself. It was no longer about the employer, about others. It was my own issues because I was very impatient. You know, things had to be done similar way. I am a perfectionist. We cannot negotiate some things. And once I feel the people are not accommodative, I have the certificates. I can apply for